Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hi everyone, we're here at AFTERBUZZ TV for the New Girl After Show. As you can see, it's the Christmas episode, and we're decked out, and we have our little tree here for decoration for you guys. And I'm Britta Garsow, here with my lovely co-hosts.
Carli Garsow. Hi guys, Merry Christmas. Early.
Hey everyone, I'm Paulina Aguilar.
Hey guys, it's Michelle Fee.
Okay, so this episode was called LAXMas. I really liked that play on the term Christmas because it was mainly spent at LAX, which I'm still wondering if they recorded it, actually filmed it in the airport, because it looked like a real airport, right?
It did, but I feel like it was probably on set.
I guess
just because there are like so many people at the airport. And it's like, you know, they can't really rope places off.
That's what I was thinking, but they made it look so realistic.
Like an airport. I don't think it was a set.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
I was just wondering if it really was.
That's television for you. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to, and making you think if it was real or fake.
Very true.
You know what? Why I thought it was real was the charging station. It looked so much like the ones in the airport. So
I liked how the whole time it was how airports really are on Christmas, but kind of a little more dramatic. Like they took it a step a little further, because we've been at the airport plenty of times on Christmas, and it's pretty crazy. Have you guys experienced that?
No.
No?
Not for Christmas. Yeah. I get to drive 5 minutes to my grandparents' house for Christmas, so I'm good. But for you guys, are you guys like, is it that chaotic?
Yeah,
chaotic over there?
And first year we went home for Christmas, Britta had a huge breakdown, like sat on the ground crying.
Because nothing was going right. We had a layover in Vegas, and they lost our bags. They said they couldn't find them, and then we found them on the conveyor belt of bags, but they were just left there. No one checked them in or anything. We're like, someone could have just stolen our luggage.
Yeah, and it's just like how they were going to Chicago and we go home to Wisconsin. Like, you never know if the snow's going to delay your flight or just delay.
So it's just such a mess.
Ooh. That does not sound fun. Thank God. Thank God for LA. Jeez.
Yeah.
Sounds crazy.
So one of the main plot lines was Jess going to London to visit Ryan and his family. I liked how she said, we're skipping 7 steps in the relationship,
and
which
they really
I agreed
were.
with.
Yeah,
they really were, but it was so nice that he offered and really wanted to spend Christmas with her. I think they're perfect together.
That was so last minute.
It was
like, hey, I leave tonight, but you can come tomorrow morning and meet me in London, which is like a 12-hour flight.
Yeah. Right.
So that was, it was a nice gesture. I think anybody would have gone.
I know. Can you guys relate to that? Like, being nervous to meet your boyfriend's family?
Yes, I think everyone is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's nerve-wracking, but also it's a lot more nerve-wracking when they're loaded.
I think it's nerve-wracking when it's that quick.
Yeah.
I mean,
and kind of so sudden. It was just thrown on her.
But meeting a family and then spending a holiday with them are a little bit different.
Yeah,
I mean, I can go to Sunday dinner and have dinner with your family any week, but for holidays, it's like, all right, you're asking for it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you don't really have people meet your family on the holidays if you're not serious about them. Or at least that's how.
And also for Jess, she's going there, so she's staying with them, so she's pretty much going to be with them constantly. These people she's never met, and so the pressure's really on her. So I really felt with her when she was just ready to back out, because I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
You find out that they're rich. It's a foreign country. You don't know anything.
No presents, and I'm such a present person too.
Yeah.
She's like,
and then Santa stole her presents. So I definitely think that I could have. I probably wouldn't have gone either. But I was glad that they made her go. It was so sweet.
Yeah, it was really sweet. I felt like this was like all the other Christmas episodes where something happens and they all kind of band together at the very last moment. So I thought this was a really cute episode. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. And they do it in such a way where it's a cheesy situation, but you're not like, oh, that's over the top cheesy, because it's like you just really think they're all best friends, and it's really heartwarming.
But my thing is, at the end when they met when they made Jess go in the airport, or on her flight, who held the planes for them? You know what I mean? Because Nick and Winston were about to leave, and they're like, we're not leaving until you leave.
They probably caught a later flight. I mean, being realistic, that's not a realistic situation to leave and go outside and then go back and through security all over again. So, I mean, it's all right. It's TV.
It's always funny to me how airport scenes go on TV. Like, I always think back to the Friends episode where, like, the very last one.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
So he just purchased this ticket to Paris, like, just to see her? That's so unrealistic. That's thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But on TV, it's romantic.
It is really, well, I mean, in real life, it would be romantic,
too.
Yeah.
But it would also be very dumb.
And
very
really
dumb
expensive. Yeah, that's very true.
And we also saw, so everyone at the beginning of the episode is talking about where they're going. They're going back home. Schmidt says he's going to Long Island to see his family.
Which have we ever, I feel like we've known that he was from Long Island, but
we've never seen him with his family.
Yeah, he rarely talks about it.
No, he doesn't.
And I think, in real life, I think he's from, like, surrounding New York area, too.
I don't know. I know that in real life, Nick is really from a Chicago suburb. And then Coach says he's from Detroit, but he's actually going to Hawaii for vacation. And then all of a sudden, Cece doesn't say where she's going, but then we see her
with Schmidt going to Long Island.
And I don't really know why they didn't establish that at the beginning, but I like that she was going with him because I'm a big fan of Schmeesy.
Yes.
That makes no sense to me. I know I'm not, but even then, like, I know that they're friends, and maybe that's why, but then you're kind of leading them on.
Yeah.
At least he's to Schmidt, and Schmidt's like, oh, they're going to come to my family and all that stuff, even though they weren't saying that.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he gets friend-zoned.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, like I was just saying, like, you only take people home when you're serious about them.
But I mean, I understand the friendship bond and, you know, hey, you don't have anywhere to go, you can come to my family.
Right.
But I think the way that it was portrayed on the show was just kind of like, maybe, well, for me, I didn't want Cece to go. But, I mean, I was just so confused.
I was confused, too. And I don't really know why she wouldn't be going home since all of her friends are going, or even just stay in LA. But I guess after, if she wasn't going home, it would make sense for her to go wherever Jess is going since they're best friends. But maybe since Jess is going to London, she just thought Schmidt's like her other best friend at this point. So I guess it makes sense in that regard. But it was confusing.
Okay, well, did anyone else think that the word friend was kind of used as like
friend?
Yeah, like, because it could have been meant just like, I love being your friend, but it could have been like, I love being your friend.
Like your special friend?
Yeah, like your special friend.
I think,
and because Schmidt was like sound disappointed at first, and then he kind of smiled and like said, like, I love being your friend too. And I don't know, like, it could have been really meant as friend, but it could have meant special friend.
I think Cece meant it as a friend, genuine, like, friend. I'm happy that we can still be in each other's lives. And Schmidt, I think he's kind of like, well, if I can't have her as my girlfriend, I want her in my life somehow. And he was like, I think that's why, like, it came off as she was putting him in the friend zone, and he was kind of like bummed about it. And then he was like, I'm glad I'm your friend too.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that he would take her friendship over anything.
I agree. I think that's it too. But I also think Cece had like an alternative meaning to it.
Me too, because I feel like she's the one that kind of wants Schmidt back more.
I think under it all,
she's leaning towards that.
Yeah, like Schmidt's obviously outwardly obsessed in love with her still, but she acts like she's not. But I think she is, just like at the beginning of the relationship when she pretended like they weren't together and she didn't really like him, but she did.
That's true.
Only time will tell.
I know.
Yes. So
maybe they'll come back from their Christmas vacation all cheering together. I know. We would love it.
Or engaged.
Or engaged. Please, you guys, thank you so much for listening and watching every week. And rate us on iTunes and leave YouTube comments. We love hearing from you all. Thank you. And we can talk about guest stars now. There was quite a few of them.
Which is really impressive considering they all were in the episode and then there was 3 extra guest stars. Because I feel like sometimes they all don't get attention, even with, like, what, the five of them?
I think the fact that it took place in one location helped.
Yeah, that's true.
But, so the first one was Billy, how do you say the last name?
I think it's Iker.
And he actually went to school with Zooey Deschanel, which is interesting.
At Chicago's Northwestern University. So they were former, like, schoolmates.
Yeah.
And I think, what show is he on now? Is he on Game of Thrones?
No, he does a comedy show.
Okay.
Or like little comedy bits online. I know that he does.
He
like
was funny. I
Billy
liked
on
his
the
character.
Streets.
What was his name on the did they
Barry.
mention? Barry?
Barry.
Yeah, the airline attendant.
That's probably how they all are at the airport. I'm frustrated. I'd be frustrated.
They're not nice people. That's a generalization. I'm sure a lot of them are nice, but we've dealt with some pretty nasty ones in the past.
But I feel like if that really irritates you as an employee of the airport to go through all that chaos, then don't work at the airport.
know.
Don't work in a socialized environment.
Yeah.
I was traveling last month, and the guy that was supposed to check my tickets was rude, and he was even more rude to like 3 other people behind me. And in my head, I just got frustrated. I was like, "Don't work here, then. If that frustrates you."
Well, maybe like they can't find another job. You know, like
That's true.
there are always
It was an old enough guy to have worked there for like a good 15 years. He could have made that decision before.
True. No, it's very true. Good point.
And then the other guest star was Barry Bostwick, who was on the show Spin City, which I think was popular in like the early 90s.
Yeah.
I remember it being on television.
David Spade was on it.
Yeah.
And then he also played Brad in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is cool. He looked like he aged well. Very tan.
I think he aged well.
Yeah.
I think he looked the same, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he didn't really look like he changed. We all recognized him when we were watching the episode.
Oh, you know he was on, wasn't he on Glee when they did the Rocky Horror Picture Show episode? I'm almost positive. I think so.
Who did he play?
Himself, I think. I'm gonna look it up. He was on
Okay.
some show that did Rocky Horror, and he was like
Glee would make sense. I don't know what other show would do Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
But
True.
that's... And then Dennis Haskins, who is Mr. Belding on Saved by the Bell, played the pervert Santa Claus.
I did not recognize him.
Honestly, if you guys didn't say that like at the beginning before we watched the episode, I would not have recognized him at all. But after you saying that, like I saw him and I was like, oh my god, it really is him.
Yeah. Well, Zooey Deschanel posted a picture of the two of them on her Instagram, and so that's like the only reason I knew. And like I wouldn't have recognized him either.
Oh,
really
his voice is pretty.
His voice is
unique.
distinct.
But yeah, that hair looked real. Like his beard and everything. It clearly wasn't
so bad. He stole her presents, and then she's like, "Reverse Santa, reverse Santa." So funny. But I mean, I liked all the guest stars. I thought they all added an interesting take on it and how they interacted with them.
Who was your favorite?
Yeah.
My favorite guest star? I would have to say Billy. He was
too.
so funny.
So funny. At the end when he was like, I'm so glad that they didn't, like, they showed the guy at the end of the bar, and in any romantic comedy, it would have been him, like, meeting the guy and, like, being all cute, but he was so into his grilled cheese, and I think that's so much more realistic.
He didn't like him, though. He looked at him, and he was disgusted. He was like, talk about honesty.
Like, I don't want to hook up at the airport. Like, I work here.
It was so great.
And I'm drunk at my job.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm so drunk at work right now. So funny. At an airport, like in front of so many people. It was great. But should we move into predictions?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Okay, so I'm going to start off saying kind of what you said before. I really hope that Schmidt and Cece come back come back from Long Island, attached, and back together again, reunited, and it feels so good. That's my really only prediction, because that's all I want to happen.
That's mine too, and I really hope that Jess has a great experience with Ryan's family. That's like, I'm really worried, because I feel like, I don't think they'll break up regardless, but I'm just worried how it's gonna go.
How it's gonna affect
and
their
I hope,
relationship.
and I hope they bring it up, like, when they come back, when the show comes back. So.
Okay. I feel like I predict the same thing. Like, I would love to see Schmidt and Cece get together, but I don't know if that's really gonna happen, like as soon as they get back. You know, I think them going to Long Island will kind of like spark something, but they'll still be like hesitant about it, and then they'll come back, and I don't know.
Or maybe, what if maybe they like hook up in Long Island and then they feel weird about
And they
it?
keep it secret. I was gonna say that
Or then
too.
they come back and then like they don't know what to do. I can see that happening too, and they're kind of both in a weird spot. and then they drag it out some more.
I can see that happening.
I'm going to go in an opposite direction. And it's not because it's a schmeesy thing, just in general. So we're not going to see any of them on their trip. We're going to see New Year's going to be past, so they're going to come back. I think that they're going to come back. Oh, how was your trip? Oh, yeah, me and Ryan did this, and it was great. And oh, my God, I dropped this, and I fell. Or, you know, something, you know, such a thing Jess would do. Can't get it out. I don't think schmeesy is going to be a thing. I think that they're just going to enjoy the trip, come back, and I think it's all going to be about new beginnings, like with Winston being a cop and he graduated and he's on a case, and Jess is going to figure out how to move around the whole school rule thing as far as them being together, and Nick we're going to see with Kai and all that stuff. So I think it's just going to be a whole new fresh new beginning type of thing.
I know we were talking today about how no matter if you don't think things are going to change, I feel like things always start new with the new year. So I definitely think that's true. But also with Nick and Jess and Ryan, I don't think that they'll ever get in trouble because Alan's just always going to be too drunk to notice.
I was going to say you forgot to talk about Alan. I think the funniest line was when he was like, "Okay, Alan, you tried." And he's like, he chugs the wine.
I'm going to say that from now on.
It was just so funny. I just love the people at her school. I think they're the best characters.
I don't know if you guys saw on the comments last week, which we love, so please keep commenting, is that some of the fans, we were talking about who's moving in, who's moving out, and all that stuff, and someone was saying Cece moving in because she's looking for a place. So someone had said for Winston to move out because of his new job, and he kind of wants like his own separate kind of space, and then Cece would probably take his spot.
That actually makes sense because when Winston's not boss, but the girl that evaluated him was like, why do you live with these people? So maybe it'll get to him.
That's true. I want to see that.
Probably
I want to see her move in.
Or something like that.
Or like working or living with his like what's the person that you work with as a police officer? Your partner.
Yeah.
So maybe that too.
Yeah.
Or maybe his partner's a girl and he likes her.
That would be cute. I want Winston to have.
There's so many ways that this can go.
I know. In Seventh Heaven, I remember the two, that police girl. I love that show. Just sidetrack there.
By the way, Ferguson never came back, and we're going on hiatus now, so the cat's dead for sure. Like, I don't know what happened.
Rest in peace. Merry Christmas, Ferguson. We miss you.
We do.
Okay, well, I think that's it for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Do you want to tell them where to find you on social media?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Britta_Garsow.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Carli_Garsow.
Oh, my turn.
Go for
it. You guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar. And guys, don't forget, we don't come back till January 6th. So come back and tune in for that.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Michelle Fee.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.